Sad Face Capitals. This is Corey, and this is the Anthem podcast.
Good afternoon, everybody. Except for you, Baltimore Police Department, you can fuck yourselves. This is Rob.
Prior to recording this, I had to finish watching Game 6 of the Islanders Capitals series.
Right, and because hockey's stupid, I was watching Freddie Gray videos.
Yeah.
So I got.
But I did have a couple one-liners that made you laugh.
Okay.
Barry Trotz is a man who enjoys fudge.
So, I didn't even see the guy who you were referring to, but the line was funny. And when you didn't say it again, but when he popped up on screen, I'm like, oh, that's the guy. Okay.
He's the man who enjoys fudge.
He's the man who enjoys fudge. Sure.
I was on Netflix. I was watching Road to the Winter Classic, and they were interviewing Barry Trotz, like talking to him. He's just like, "We're gonna focus on defense this year," and I laughed hysterically. Yeah, right.
Well, here's the thing. I can't look at a hockey game and know if they're playing defense good, so I know when they score goals, that's not a good thing.
Well, I think it was pretty obvious just watching this one that they
when both defensemen were laying on the ice, just relaxing, like, oh, yeah, let's go ahead and get that done.
Where's the puck? Must have disappeared.
Yes.
He hit him so hard it disintegrated.
So I assume that's not good defense.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I do enjoy that watching the Capitals play hockey is a lot like playing NHL 1996 on NES,
Yeah.
where wherever the puck is, all the players naturally just go in
glide
that
towards.
It's like playing football in that vibrating football field.
Right.
Did you ever play with one of those?
Yeah, like,
and just there's no sense to any of it. They just all migrate together and then apart. That's hockey, Capitals hockey.
Yeah, pretty much. So business up front.
Business.
Before we get to serious topics, like Freddie Gray and Bruce Jenner.
It's sports ball.
And sports ball. Next week, our next episode is Drinko de Mayo 2. Now, for anybody who doesn't know what Drinko de Mayo is all about, somewhere on this video right now, you will see a little link that'll take you to last year's Drinko de Mayo, episode 4.
I would find the audio clip of just you moaning like 90 minutes in. You're like,
well, as a refresher for those who weren't with us at that point, we decided to come up with keywords.
Right.
And if we said one of these keywords and they were related to the topics of discussion, I think it was like Sterling and Clippers, and
oh, that's right, yeah,
because that was happening that week.
Good grief! It's been a long year.
How the time passes.
I know, shit. Yeah.
So if I said Sterling, I had to take a shot of tequila.
Right.
And
any form of drink or drunk.
Yeah, and I think the other one was like fuck.
Whatever the other topic was. What was going on last year?
No, it was one of our one-liners. Sidebar.
Yeah, can't say sidebar.
Yeah, if you said sidebar, it was a drink. So I think drink, and drunk is what got us the most.
Yes,
but
because when somebody said the keyword, the other person would be like, drink!
So anyway, if you didn't see it, there's video for it, and I'm going to try and figure out a way to make video happen for this one, too.
We should figure that out. We'll have a camera.
We can do cameras.
Yeah.
It'll be, last year it was 17 shots of tequila for me.
Right.
In like an hour.
Right.
So.
An unhealthy amount of tequila.
That was fun.
Yes. And I think, as I said before, you and I finished off a quarter of that bottle in an afternoon, and then it took me 9 months to finish off the rest of the bottle. So
it was a big bottle too.
It was.
Was it a 750 milliliters?
It was a very fancy silver 1800. It was delicious and smooth. Yeah. Can we not do tequila this year?
Well, it's Drinko de Mayo. What else?
Can we just do power? Let's do a power hour of beer. I'd prefer to do that over tequila. We can do tequila. Fuck, I'm gonna hate my life.
I think it's just more fun that way.
Hey, you're the one who's gonna get drunk, so I don't know.
Well, I don't know. We can make the topics Rob-centric. So here's the thing.
So if you see police, you have to drink.
If you're listening to the sound of my voice right now and you really want to see Rob get absolutely shit-faced, just call into the listener line, 443-219-7595, or any of the social media, or hit up me and Rob on any of our things, and let us know what you want to do. So if you really hate Rob and you want to see him get drunk on camera, then, make words like police or invasion of civil liberties or any of these sorts of things, and then
But listen,
just over the course of an hour podcast, he'll drink himself to death.
And me giggling, also not a drinkable thing.
Yeah.
Don't suggest that.
I was watching The Room
the
other day, and it was just like a whole lot of, for the rest of the night, I was like, oh, hi! And trying to do the laugh, like, I love The Room. All right.
So look forward to that. It'll be dropping on Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, so...
While you're drinking in the afternoon, you can drink. So, big in the news this week was the Freddie Gray incident.
Oh, is that in the news this week?
Yes. He dies having 3 broken vertebrae, 80% severing of the spine, crushed larynx, broken bones in his legs and his back and everywhere. And the Baltimore police are like, what?
Yeah.
We don't know how that happened. And what we're hearing now is that this is not atypical. I was telling you before, I am finding these stories that are like, oh yeah, back in 96, they beat this kid in the lobby, not the lobby, but the holding area of the Western District, and then sat his lifeless body up on a bench, handcuffed for an hour, and then an hour later somebody walks over and feigns surprise that he is no longer breathing, and they call an ambulance. Turns out he's been dead for an hour. They set his dead body up to try and avoid litigation later. That something must have happened.
Weekend at Bernie's 4.
Basically, yeah. So, of course, last year, Ferguson, the whole thing in Ferguson happened, and it's been followed up by Tamir Rice and Eric Garner and about 9,000 other people. By the way, we are at 350 American citizens have been killed by police officers in 2015. It is April. It is the end of the 4th month, and we are at 350.
Though I would like to say that some people do die at the hands of police officers on completely justifiable.
And 3 weeks ago, I would have 100% agreed with you. And then I saw a video of a guy who was begging the cop to shoot him, who was rushing at him while he had his gun pulled, and the cop did not shoot him. And when he talked him down for 2 minutes, the guy laid down and he put him in cuffs. That guy is a fucking American hero.
Yeah.
He needs to train police officers on what to do. Because the fact of the matter is, all the people who... And by the way, in that meantime, there have been 11 police officers who were killed on duty by gunfire from suspects. And I don't want to minimize their deaths. It's a serious situation. Most of those things were engaged by the police officer. So take that for what it's worth, meaning that they started a stop, not a traffic stop, but they went up to somebody on the street and said, hey, buddy, what are you doing? And then it led to an exchange of gunfire in which the officer died. We have a problem in this country. It's not just with the police, but sides are being drawn. And when everything was going on in Ferguson, I said, as bad as it is, that's not going to happen in Baltimore. And it turns out it's worse than that. It's worse than I thought.
Well, I would like to go back to something that I said, I think, the first time when we talked about Ferguson.
Yeah.
I have friends who are cops.
As do I, yes.
And people that I consider good friends. Good people.
And good cops.
Yeah, and good cops.
Yeah.
And obviously when we talk about the police, we're not blanketing every single police officer in America.
Sure.
You talked about the one who the guy was daring him to shoot him and talked him down.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is not an issue with everybody.
No.
And if you're a good cop, you know who you are. If you're a bad cop, you probably don't know who you are, but you're going to learn at some point when you get in trouble. But what's certainly part of the problem, and something that Police Commissioner Anthony Batts has been trying to fix, is a system that turns cops who wouldn't otherwise be bad into bad cops, because this is the way that they learned how to do it.
Right. By the way, Baltimore City, also the home of a black police officer who was shunned and forced to retire early because he refused to recite the story that was given to him by a superior. This is how this incident went down. No, it wasn't. I was there. I saw what happened. No, you don't understand. this is how it went down. And then people started putting racial epithets on his house and his car, and they forced him to resign, and he can never be a police officer again. And Baltimore, home to that guy as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, there's nothing that justifies it.
If there's anybody who deserves to be fired,
yeah,
besides probably the cops, but we don't know.
Stephanie Rawlings-Blake.
Stephanie Rawlings-Blake.
God, yes, please.
Because right now, all she's doing is, I want to be governor one day, damage control.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm going to show up on television and say whatever it takes at that exact moment to one day be elected governor, and hope that people forget this entire thing ever happened.
Within 3 hours, I'm going to meet with the protesters and tell them how my heart is breaking, and then I'm going to go meet with the FOP and do a press conference where I say I back my police.
Yeah.
Both of those things cannot be true. You cannot both be with the protesters and with the police.
So, I think just in general, if I was a black person who lived in Baltimore City, I would be pretty upset that we still aren't on the level that we should be.
Right.
Certainly something that I think should be tackled. Not tackled and bent and thrown in the back of a van haphazardly, but tackled as like an issue that we need to look at.
I wish there was points! Nice. That's a good job, yeah.
A little wordplay.
Right, yeah, I see that, yeah. Here's what it comes down to. Don't get confused by the race issue. That's what I'm going to say. Don't get confused by the race issue. It's not about being black. It's about being poor. It's about being disadvantaged. If I was standing on that street corner with saggy pants and whatever he was wearing, I would feel just the same way about cops. I mean, I am who I am, and I feel the same way about cops. And if they hassled me, I'd run. Probably not as fast because I'm fat and he was really skinny and in good shape, but
I have a hard time not thinking about it in racial terms, though, in a way, because this is a systemic problem.
Yes.
And that's going to play into it, no matter what. I would, the part of it that I don't like making a race issue with is that I've heard an alarming amount of white friends of mine speak of it like, oh, these black guys just riling up and trying to cause trouble. I'm like, no, that's not what this is about. This is about a serious issue that is happening more to one community than the other, for sure.
Right.
But this is an issue not about black teens getting killed by the police, even though that is obviously
a major part of
what is happening right now.
Yes.
But this is about a problem with police officers in general taking advantage of a citizenry who is not capable of defending themselves in the way that they should.
Oh, wait. Okay. Let's touch on that. First, I do want to go back to your comment about good cops.
Right.
I agree that there are good cops and bad cops. I go a little bit further, though. There are four kinds of cops.
Okay.
There are bad cops who do what they want to do. These are the guys who were bullies in high school or peaked in high school. They were captain of the football team, and never went anywhere after that. And then we said, hey, let's give you a badge and a gun and let you do whatever you want to do. They're just bad people. They're sociopaths or psychopaths. They really shouldn't have control, but they do.
Yeah.
Those are really bad cops. And then there are the cops who defend the bad cops because they think that the blue line means everything. And I think the secret behind these guys is they are secretly worried that one day they'll mess up and they need the blue line to protect them. In their case, it'll be a mistake. So they have to defend the bad action, the purposeful bad actions of another cop because the blue line's all important.
Right.
This is where most of your family falls, too. It's that if my husband, boyfriend, uncle, father accidentally does something, I want to form ranks and protect him.
Yeah.
So we're going to defend the guy who clearly just beat the shit out of that kid because he didn't like him. And then you have willful blindness cops. And they're the ones who walk around and be like, well, there's no problem. Well, you heard about the kid who got beat, right? What? A kid who got beat? That doesn't sound like the Baltimore City Police.
Yeah.
And just pretends that it doesn't happen.
I would put the I don't know police in there as well. Like,
yes.
Well, I don't know what happened there.
Right. The one and I don't know, so I'm not going to count. I don't know. I don't take sides.
Yeah.
But you're still in the uniform and you're still defending bad cops.
Or the cops will come up like the throw a bottle hypothetical.
Right.
Like, well, I don't know what happened. He might have thrown a bottle at him, and then that's why he had to run.
But there's no evidence of that. But he might have. We don't know.
Yeah, but that could have. You don't know all the facts either,
right.
Let's not.
So then the last group are the good cops. They're the guy who doesn't shoot the kid, no matter what he does.
Right.
The cop trips and falls and kicks the suspect to create distance, but does not shoot him. Yeah. And then a minute later, the guy just lays on his stomach and he arrests him. That's a good cop. Yeah. The cop in Baltimore who said, I don't care what the party line is, I'm going to tell the truth. That's a good cop. Cops who go out every day and do their job and they do it well and they abide by the rules, those are good cops. The other three that I mentioned, you are all bad cops. When you protect bad cops, you are bad cops. So that's where I draw the line. You are either good or you're bad, and this stuff in the middle doesn't count. We put you on the bad side. And then you say this is about a populace who has no control over what they have to do. And they do, though.
You're a lawyer.
Yes.
What could I have done in the situation where the cop pulled me over and then lied in court?
That there is nothing you can do about that particular situation.
Right.
I will agree with that.
That's terrible, because that guy's still hypothetically out there doing the same thing.
All right, so
just like cops who, before the age of smartphones and... Right.
By the way, this is not new. This has been happening. We can just now record it.
Right.
This has happened for 100 years.
Way more.
But now we can finally record it. And when 10 witnesses say that, no, that's not how it happened, and the judge says, I believe the cop, now we have cell phone
That's
video.
part of the problem, too.
Right.
I believe the cop.
Oh, you are guilty until proven innocent. That's the problem with the system. So you want to know how we break that? You need to vote for the right people, number one. Because we need to change the entire system that says that you're guilty until proven innocent. Two, we need to stop doing collections through our police department. We need to say your budget is $10 million.
Right.
If you write a $7 million in tickets, your budget is $10 million. I'm calling you out, Mayor Rawlings-Blake, and I tweeted at you, and I don't care if you didn't fucking see it. Fire everybody. The only way you save your ass in this situation is you fire. Stop giving murderers paid vacations. Fire everybody. Clean house. Go to Anthony Batts and say, you find your... How many people are in the Baltimore City Police Department?
Oh, God.
Like a couple thousand? Maybe 1,000? Probably.
I would say 1,000, just to make a nice round number of it.
You find your 250 best officers. You take them, and you train me another 250. And when those are ready, we're firing everybody else. Clean house. Don't let the bad get into the good. Get all the bad apples out. Let's start with a fresh. Anything less than that is treason towards the citizenry of the city of Baltimore. So vote for better people. Stephanie Rawlings-Blake needs to get the fuck out. She needs to be voted out next time. I will say it to her face. You are a horrible mayor, not only because the harbor is a mess and kids are getting killed, and you're
Harbor East or any one of the
fucking million of things that's wrong with you. You're just a horrible person. And you should not be the mayor of Baltimore. I don't even live here, and I know that. I wouldn't vote for you if I was here. Number two, there was a video we talked about a couple weeks ago where a bunch of people stood by filming the police basically brutalizing a woman out in front of a Waffle House or something like that. Yeah. Again, I'll remind everybody of the disclaimer. This is my thought on it. There are more of us than there are of them. If you're in a crowd of 20 people and you see cops acting inappropriately, do something. Stop standing around. Stop standing around. I have the ability to walk up and say, hey, fuckboy, get your hands off of them. And then they talk shit to me, and then I say, oh, by the way, here's my card. I'm an attorney. And then generally people start acting right. Yeah. You don't have that. I get that. But just don't stay silent. Say something. Start it out.
Also, hypothetically, if you're in a situation where there's witnesses or cameras or something like that, and you see something over the line happening, you're going to have a pretty good chance of protecting yourself in court if it ever comes to that. Right. So,
if you're the only one
I would like to bring up the idea of, let's say we're at the Waffle House and there's two people fighting, like a couple fighting. Yeah. And then all of a sudden he grabs her by the hair, just some stupid redneck, grabs his wife by the hair, drags her out into the parking lot and starts beating her ass. Yeah. Are you just going to stand there and go like, oh man, she's getting her ass beat? No. Or are you going to go out there and do it? Right. Do something. Are you going to separate it? Or are you going to try and get in the middle? Right. I understand if you think that, I'm not asking 83-year-old grandmothers to separate bar fights, but I'm saying if you think that if you can do something and you don't, then it's not...
Gender aside, men, how about we start acting like men? How about that? Right. Women start acting like... I'm 30 years old. I'm in my prime. I don't mind taking a punch. I I have gotten punched when I've separated a redneck dude beating on his girlfriend. That's happened. It sucks. Getting hit in the face sucks. But once it happens once, you're like, oh, not the end of the world.
Right.
I'm okay.
I'll be better.
It'll be fine. So step in the middle. Anyway.
Pain don't hurt. So
there's a lot of protests going on. I encourage everybody to go down and join the protest. Freddie Gray, send a message to the people. And you know what? Wherever you are, this is a nationwide problem. We've seen it in Ferguson. We've seen it in L.A., New York, Baltimore, Miami, Seattle. It's everywhere. It's a systematic problem, and something needs to be done. Stop just talking about it. Start doing something. And I don't know what that is. My idea, foundingthefuture.us. That's going to teach you what you should do. Foundingthefuture.us. Go read the blog. It'll give you some ideas about what to do.
One final thought before we wrap this up.
Yeah.
Speaking to the good cops.
Right.
I understand you have a yeoman's job trying to tackle crime in Baltimore City.
Right.
I understand how tough it must be, and I'm grateful for all that you do to try and fix it. But if I may get biblical for a second, violence begets violence.
Right.
If every time that you beat the shit out of somebody from running from you, they're just going to run from you again.
Right. No. Next time they may not run. Next time it may be 3 guys who see you and they decide they're not going to run anymore.
Right.
That's where we are at now. Now we're getting to the point where, one, you're right, people will run.
Yeah.
But we're getting to the point where they're going to stop running and they're going to start fighting back. And I don't want to see good cops get hurt because bad cops are doing bad things. And guys, there's cute little videos. Baltimore Police Department did them, the ones that Dover does.
Yeah.
You're making it worse. Stop.
Yeah.
Because when I see that, I see when I know that you're beating up people regularly, and then you try to do this public PR about, like, let's sing Taylor Swift. I want to find you and punch you in the face.
Not important. Anywho, if you want more of the Anthem,
who wouldn't want more?
Well, if you do, if you're one of those people, otheanthem.com, Corey at otheanthem.com, O The Anthem on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, YouTube, Vimeo, and the listener line, where you want to text or leave a voicemail with your idea for words for our Drinko de Mayo special next week.
I'm texting right now. My idea is, let's not do it. Okay.
So all we need is 2 people to override Rob.
Woo!
And we do it. We're probably going to do it anyway.
What is that number?
443-219-7595.
One more time.
443-219-7595.
And you can find me online at all your social networks at Robert N. Cheek on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, everything.
Snapchat.
At Robert N. Cheek on Snapchat. I enjoy all of your snaps. At deaddrop.com, themovementinsurrection.com, and most importantly, foundingthefuture.us. Go there for all of your police-related news, and you can also find Founding the Future on Twitter and on Facebook as well. So join the group, get all the good ancillary side anti-establishment news.
Join the media revolution.
Absolutely.
All right.
The media revolution. That's what I'm going to say.
Quote. Nobody could see your air quotes on
the
an
quotes
audio
was on,
podcast.
The quotes were on media, not on revolution.
All right. Well, I think we've done good here.
We've done something. I don't know if it's good.
All right. Well, for Corey.
And for Freddie Gray. And for Rob.
Wait. Freddie Gray and Rob.
Now you've gotten me messed up.
Yeah,
okay, so for Corey and for Freddie Gray and for the city of Baltimore, again, audio podcast, you can't see my power to the people, fist high.
Yeah.
And for myself.
Just put a picture of Jesse Owens from the Olympic Games.
Damn right. Anyway, this is Rob. Have a great week, everybody. We can't wait to see you next week. Drinko de Mayo. Woo!
I will be so hammered.